A lot of times, team building, team management is two guys sitting, talking, and thinking about what you want about your team, what you want about your work, about everything. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit down. Because when we talk about team building and team management, the first thing that comes to our head is recruiting. Okay? It's the first thing that we all think in our team. Which one are going to be our players? Blah, 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 blah. Very good. Probably for me is the last thing that you need to know. Last thing you need to know. Why? Because the first thing that you need to know about your team is take a look inside of you. Let's put it this way. Is Pablo Laso the right coach for the under-18 team of Alba Berlin? You think yes? Maybe not, because I don't speak German, let's put it this way. So this controversy is something that for us is very important as coaches. And a lot of times we think, okay, we need to get this job, I want to get this job, and a lot of times we don't think about the consequences that are going to come from getting that job. And it's something that before recruiting players, before start practicing, before everything, it's you as a coach, as a person. And you have to be mentally sure that you're going to fit on the right spot and you're going to do right on the right spot. Because we're persons and we have families and expectations, goals. We're not just doing just job. Even money thing, whatever. So for us, first look on team building, team management is take a look inside of you. Is it, for example, is it the right place for you? Just think about it. Is the right place? I will be able to coach in a play. I'm Spanish. I came here, I didn't bring a jacket. It's raining and cold. In Madrid, it's hot. And if I'm coaching Malaga, I'm going to be wearing almost short pants all year. How about if I'm coaching in, what's that place? Kazan. Would I be able to handle that? Would I be able to do my job right? I have family. I have 3 kids, my wife and 3 kids. I'm going to do my job right if my family is going to be happy there. As a coach, I went to play, I was a national team player in Spain. I went to Italy. Sorry, they fired me. I played like shit in Italy. I was a bad player? For sure not. I just didn't get on the right situation. I can blame it on the coach, on whatever, blah, blah, as a player, but at the end it was me who was not playing at the best level. So as a coach, make that inside thinking too. Because like I said, it's going to be a different place, it's going to be a different situation. You have a different city, you have your family, of course. And then you have different expectations. Probably, if I coach Real Madrid, they're not going to ask me for the same things that if I coach the under-20, under-18 from Berlin. You have different expectations, different goals. And inside of you, you have to think about that. Is what you want to do? You want to coach Kazan, for example? You feel like you want to coach that team? You want to coach CSKA Moscow? You want to coach under under a job program? Are you going to fit on that job? You want to be assistant? So it's very important that you always take a look at your expectations also. Plus the club. How is that club? Is it well organized? Or you just gonna arrive there, okay, I get the job, they call me from wherever, I go there and start practicing. How is the club? How is that expectation? What do they want from you? In some clubs, it's very easy. If you go to Real Madrid, you better win. Of course. If you go to CSKA Moscow, you better win. Olympiacos, and who was the other one? Fenerbahce. Those 4 teams, last year, they made an unbelievable season. They got to the Final Four. Real Madrid won the Spanish Cup. Fenerbahce played the Spanish League. Fenerbahce played the final in Turkey. CSKA won the VTV, and Olympiacos won the league. 4 teams, they were great, but only one won the EuroLeague. And when we left the EuroLeague, we were talking like CSKA didn't play good, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So what are your expectations? And every club has different expectations, okay? So you have to know what the club wants from you. And other reasons that are important. You want to develop players. I don't mind winning as much as I want to develop players. There is teams in Europe who are worried about, I want to get young guys so I can, sell them, get the money, and continue my job. Red Star, for example. Red Star always get young guys, try to improve them, and then they leave. They received, I don't know, market. Kalinic now, he's going to, but for the coach, he has to understand that. Probably Red Star coach here, my friend from Red Star is here sitting, I'm like, I'm not going to win the EuroLeague. I got the best player in the EuroLeague, Marjanovic, and he left. So he understands the club. And he's doing a great job with the different expectations. And he understands it from the beginning. Also the club, you got to know what do they have. I don't have the same, let's say, facilities coaching Real Madrid or coaching San Sebastian in ACB where I was coaching before. In Real Madrid, we travel better. We got our gym for practice. I got more people to help, more coaches. In San Sebastian, no. And you have to adjust as a coach. Okay? So all these things, you have to consider it inside of you before getting the job. A lot of times coaches, we think, luckily I can get that job. Yeah, but the job, it has to be something that you feel inside that you're going to do right. Okay, so you're in the team. You arrive to one team, or you're already in the team. Then you have a view of what do you want to build, what you want to do, whatever. For me, most important thing is going to be your staff. Your staff is the people that's going to be with you for the whole year. Your assistants, your trainer, your physiotherapist, your doctor. In Madrid, we have the utillero, I don't know how you said, the guy who runs everything, the material, I don't know how you say it in English. That people, for me, is as important as Rudy Fernandez. As important as Sergio Rodriguez. My doctor is as important as anyone on the team, because they're going to be with me all year. And in the bad moments or in the good moments, players are going to leave and they're going to stay with me. So how important is that your staff, it's something that you believe on. Also, knowing that they're able to do their job. Of course, you got to recruit them, but you have to know that they're good professionals and they're going to help you and they're going to help the team. And this is an example that a lot of times we don't think about. Your physiotherapist got a better job and he's leaving. Nothing happens. Maybe. Why not? We saw a lot of teams where they have problems with doctors, with whatever, and that affects your team. How are you going to manage that during the year if you have, let's say, a bad doctor? A doctor who creates problems for you instead of solving problems. How about you have a physical trainer who is leaving and he's probably thinking that we're not doing the right job. Which is stupid. You're having a fight from the beginning. But also as a coach, you have to know that they're professionals and you also got to give them their freedom to do the right things. Of course, you're in charge. Of course, you're going to be the leader of them. As a head coach, of course, you're a leader. A lot of eyes are on you. But a great leader is able to give responsibility to other people. You're not going to take care of a guy when he got a flu, or he twists his ankle, or he lifts weights. But you're in charge of that. They're going to look at you. Rick just said something like that. Do you have a shooting coach? Something like that. Some question came up like that. And he more or less, he said, okay, I'm in control of everything. They're going to look at you. If they miss shots and they miss free throws, and you got to do something to solve it. It's not going to be you, maybe, the one who correct that, but you're going to have somebody who will do it. And you got to believe on that person doing that job. Okay, so you have your stuff. Then, players. You arrive to a team, what do you have? You have, let's say, 6 players, or you have to recruit 12 players. Create a team. Or you have the same players that they had before with another coach. Okay, we're talking about basketball. What do you want? In basketball, you want a team that wants to run. You want a team that is very good defensively. You want a team that plays slow, look for big guys. When you're building a team, I don't know. It's not the same to have Marjanovic on your team or to have Marcus Slaughter on your team. It's going to be a different situation. It's not the same to have Spanoulis or to have Diamantidis. So you have to build a team with the players that you probably already have, trying to mix it with your philosophy. Maybe you go to the market and you got to get 4 players. Maybe you go to the market and you got to get 2. Maybe you got to go and get 8. But at the end, forget about the name of the players and his quality, because you're going to have to make a team. And if the club gives you 10 and you need to get 6 players and you pay 9 to 1, then you only want 1 for a lot of them. So just think about value your team and know that you want to create a team. Don't just think about one player, and one player can be very important. We're in Germany, totally different national team with Dirk, without Dirk, for sure. We will talk about national team later on, but it's true. So when you're recruiting, when you're making your team player-wise, just think what is going to help you to be a better team. don't just think about players. This happens a little bit, and for us is, now that Rick is not here, NBA thing. NBA, they get great players and then they start thinking about making a team. Europe, we're still a little bit thinking about, okay, we need to create a team, so sign players that make you a better team. NBA, which is a little bit more business, is like, if LeBron James is open, I'm going to get LeBron James. Then we'll see. In Europe, that's very difficult, because if you have one LeBron James, he will go to the NBA. So at the end, for us, it's probably more important make a team than just think about players. Okay, then you have your team. Okay, you have your staff, you have your teams, your players, you have a schedule, and your calendar, and it's totally different. For example, national team coach like Chris. Do you think Chris can coach the same on a one-year calendar with Bamber than in here, that he's going to have the players for, let's say, 45, 2 months maximum? No. No way. No way, it's totally different. Not on a year competition, you play 5 games in 6 days. Everybody is going to measure Chris' job for 6 days. So probably as a coach, you have to take a look at that calendar and what you're doing. So different to coach a national team than a long-term year. How about NBA? 82 games. Can you have the same view of the calendar, of the schedule, of the things that you want to build on an NBA schedule? If we sit here, Rick will have on his mind, okay, we have this team. I think I have to play hard from the beginning, try to get in the playoffs. I'm playing a hard. My divisions are very hard. I'm going to play very difficult games against San Antonio, Houston. So it's going to be difficult to me to get in the playoffs. So I got to play hard from the beginning. Maybe another team think that they have to build a team because they have quality enough to get on playoff time, and they have to be ready for playoffs. And maybe a team like the Sixers, they want to change players to create different things, try to find out a better team, and win 20 games. So every situation in the NBA calendar is different than the one that we have in Europe. For example, it's not the same situation for Juventud Badalona in ACB that's going to play 34 games that for Real Madrid or Barcelona or Unicaja that we're going to play almost 80 games during the year. And those 80 games, you're not going to play for the last one. Of course, you want to get to the last one. But how do you get there? Because I'm receiving my players on the 20th, and I put my example now. My players are going to finish the European Championship on the 20th. I have 2 guys playing in America, Mexico and Argentina, Ayon and Nocioni. I have Machulis playing with Lithuania, and I have 5 on the Spanish national team. And we're in preseason now. You want to come and watch my preseason? What preseason? On the 22nd, we're flying to Brazil to play the Intercontinental Cup. We're Real Madrid. We're supposed to win this. And my players are going to go straight from, I hope, Lille to Brazil through Madrid. Machulis is going to send his family to Madrid before he gets there. But then we play in the Intercontinental Cup. And next week, we play in the Super Cup, where, Super Cup, Real Madrid has to win. And next week, we play in the Celtics. You walk in the streets and the people say, hey, we ought to win this game against the Celtics. We're a better team. Okay? Next week, we start EuroLeague. Can you find me some time to practice? Please? Okay. But like I said, I have to accept that. Because it's the way it is. I'm not getting if it's good, bad, whatever. I'm accepting this job. So somehow I have to build a team knowing that's coming, and somehow you have to deal with it. Okay? I wanted to mention that different because it's very important. We talked about a national team coach, we talk about NBA coach, we talk about EuroLeague team coach, or just a ACB team who plays 34 games. So much difference on the way you're going to build and manage your team during the season. Sometimes we go 5 days in a row away from home. A lot of times I think they're tired of watching my face. We see in the airport, we see in the hotel, we see in practice, we see in the game. Probably when they see a picture of Pablo Laso, they go like, I don't want to see Pablo Laso anymore. And that's something that you have to manage from the beginning, okay? How do you manage that? You have players, they're persons, and they have their own goals and their own expectations. Same thing we talked about us, they haven't. What do they want? They want to win? Well, that's the best situation. If they want to win, that's the best situation. Because you want to win too. But a lot of times we got to deal with players that they want to win for sure. But they want to play good. And to play good, they have to play minutes. So, you really need to know what are the expectations, the goals of every player that you have. I have players that their head is, I got to play good because I want to go to the NBA. I got to play good because I want to get more money. I just lost a player that is very important for me, that is leaving to another team. I feel bad, I feel terrible. I love that player. He left. When we talked, he was like crying, leaving Madrid. They gave him an unbelievable contract. What can I say? Okay, respect and confidence, both ways. So a lot of times you have to show your players that respect and confidence that a lot of times they use for them. I want it too, because I'm the coach. I want the same respect. I want the same confidence. Okay? Because there's one thing that is difficult for players. Understand their minutes. When a player plays 20 minutes, he thinks he should play 22. If he plays 22, he thinks he should play 24. When he plays 24, he thinks he should play 30. And if one day you put him 34, he said, I'm playing too much. Players. Normal. So it's a funny story about a coach who in the first meeting with the team, he got on the locker room, gave a pen to all of them and a paper and told them, you see your team, this is the team, write down how many minutes you think you can play on this team. We only have 200 minutes. He got 310 minutes going on. I mean, okay, we know this. But we only have 200 minutes. But one guy wants to play 15, one guy wants to play 18, 25, blah, 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 blah. Okay, 310. I only have 200. And you have to manage that. You have to manage that. And it's different to manage that on an NBA season, on a 34-game season, or in an 80-game season. And sometimes you have to play with that. You need those minutes. Those minutes are important for you. The problem is you have to make her understand that every minute is important. Every minute is important. It's not a problem of quantity. It's a problem of quality. Okay, after that, year goes on. And you have your concepts clear and your ideas, but season is going on. And then a lot of problems comes during the season, for sure. Press, you start losing, somebody on the press will say you're doing a bad job, whatever. Injuries. Press won't care about injuries. Press don't care about what's going on with your team. You're the only one who are leading that and knowing everything that's going on. We were worried this year because between April and June, we got 3 guys in our team that their wives, they were pregnant. So for us, it was a problem. It was a big problem, really. And you have to take care of that. And you have to live with that. And we were playing the playoffs, and the wife of one of my players was in the hospital. And you have to manage that. Who is going to manage if it's not us? Who is going to do it? You have to have a decision there. What do? You're playing the playoffs, 4th game of the playoff. You let your guy go to Madrid and see his wife. Maybe his son is going to be born on that night. What do? You got to make that decision. And this is not going to be Pablo Laso's decision on your team. You have to decide, not me. Because you know him, you know how he is. You know if he is going to stay in the hotel with the team, he's going to feel bad. He's not going to be ready about the game. Maybe if he goes to Madrid, see his wife, his child, comes back and really wants to play. And that decision is not Pablo Laso here. Pablo Laso already had it, but you're going to have it on your team. How about if you have a young guy that plays very good player, but fails everything in school? This is your decision. Talk to him. Do you think it's important for him? I think we all know that it's very important for him that he's able to pass his tests. I can tell you, in our program, you can be Luka Doncic. If you don't pass your test in school, you won't play. In our program in Real Madrid, we have this clear. From the bottom, from the youth program. We got people from everywhere. We got Brazilian, we got Slovenian like Luka, we had Croatian. Okay, they come to Madrid, to a big organization. They're young. But we're building persons. We're not building basketball players. Of course, we want them to grow up as players. But we want them to be good persons and have their career as a person growing up. Of course, we want them to be basketball players. But what's the message that we want to give them if from 16, 15 years old, they just worry about basketball? And that's something that maybe won't be your job, but it can be your job. And you have to be ready to give a hand to your job program on that time and go to one of the young guys that you saw in practice and tell him, hey, if you don't pass the test, you're not going to play. And it's something that you have to manage because you want to create an image of what's going to be your program in the future. Okay? How about directives? When you win, you're great. When you lose, you're not that great. When you lose consistently, you're terrible. Eyes are on us, like Rick said. Fans, they go and watch the game, and they all have their own opinion. What? You have to live with them. I got a guy behind me in Madrid who kills me. Seriously. I make fun of this when I'm on the bench like this, and I have a guy right here that goes, Laso, quita Mary, pon a Felipe. And I can hear all day. Laso, quita Chacho, pon a Yul. And you have to live with it. I cannot get up and say, please, can you take that guy out of the... No, you have to manage that. Okay? All these things that happen during the year is very important as coaches that you're able to handle it. That means that you are like this, like a horse? No way. No way. Sometimes coaches, I heard this a lot. I don't read papers. I don't think so. We're not that stupid. We are in today's world, it's impossible that you don't know what's going on with your team, what they say about you, but it's normal. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, press, whatever. It's impossible that you don't read it. I'm not going to say who, but I know a story about one coach who said, I don't read anything. I don't read anything. I don't want to know anything about press. I know the press guy from that team. I don't want to read. I'm not worried about this. And next 2 days later, he calls the press guy, hey, how can the press write that this guy is not going to play today? So the press guy said, listen, do you read or you don't read? Okay, so I think it's very difficult that we live away, that our life is away from everything. But that cannot change us. We have to have our concepts very clear. But I tell you one thing, you have to be open-minded. You have to be open-minded. I can say this polo is white. And for me it's white. But if you guys tell me that it's blue, I will go like this and say, it's blue, but it's white here. Okay? Because I won't say that I'm wrong. But probably I will have to say, okay, maybe it's blue. What I'm saying is, all the things that are going to happen during the year, we cannot tell them here in 45 minutes. And you have to be ready that everything that comes, you will have to solve it. Because you're the leader of all those things. And you're probably going to have people to help you. And you have to create that people to help you. And players, a lot of times, are there to help you. Use them. Use them. Use the players. Use your staff. Use your directives. Use the press. Don't change. But make sure this polo is blue. Okay? Thank you.